Okay, this is something that I've been thinking about for a couple days now, and I really, I really need to speak on it. I feel because this is a part of the problem, and this is a part of the reason why we still where we are. A lot of people still are where they are because there we go. They seeking guidance from these motherfuckers. I am seeking guidance from these motherfuckers. If you go, I'm gonna speak on myself personally. Every notification I get for YouTube is what this person thinking about you. You versus them, their thoughts about you, their feelings versus their actions, XYZ, XYZ. These readers are keeping us in a state of thinking about this shit. Very seldom do I get a notification about what to do to move forward. You know, um, shit like that. Like, I was just thinking in my mind, like, it's easy to tell a motherfucker what to do, but what about the how? You feel me? That's kind of like what this is. It's like, they'll be reading about how they feel about you, and they be like, if I was you, I would cut them off. I wouldn't do, like, so why you keep reading about it then? Why don't you tell me how? Why don't you read about how to move through a breakup, how to move through an addictive pattern, and being transparent? So when I do see that shit, I save it to my shit. But I've been seeing that shit so long, I've become addicted to watching those type of videos. Like, I used to watch tarot all the time because it would help me so much. I stopped watch. I don't watch a lot of tarot. And if it's like you've all of that shit, I just skip past it. Like, I got tired of that shit. It's like, why do we keep thinking about that shit? Why do we keep talking about that shit? And it got me thinking, like, it's because that's what motherfuckers want to hear. But motherfuckers don't need to hear what they want to hear. Motherfuckers need to hear what they need to hear. And what you need to hear is that you need to stop watching these fucking readings. Because they telling you the same shit over and over again. But you constantly need confirmation. Every week that this motherfucker still thinking about you. Every week that this motherfucker don't give a fuck about you. Confirmation that you feel the way you feel. You know how you feel. It's time to start moving past that shit. I hear that airplane. It's like it's hindering growth. And I'm recognizing this for myself first. Like, I don't want to keep watching that shit. I know how that motherfucker feel. I know what that motherfucker thinking. I know how that motherfucker moving towards me because I'm living that shit. But I'm trying to get past that shit. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of thinking about that shit. I'm tired of hearing about that shit. For real, for real. And the readers that I do still watch faithfully, they don't ever talk about shit like that. They always talking about what I need to hear versus what I want to motherfucking hear. And if they do pick up on the energy, they always stay right. Like, let me know that that's not what I need to be focused on. XYZ, you know what I need to do and why. XYZ, you know. Those are the readings that I do still watch. Shit that's going on in my subconscious, you know, the shit that my shadow want me to see type shit. XYZ, you know, really the shit that's gonna actually help me to grow. And there's not a lot of readers like that. You don't see that shit. If you go on YouTube and type in tarot, you gonna see some fuck shit that's gonna keep you in a place that you've been in for so long now that you need to be getting out of. But they're not gonna tell you how. They just gonna keep informing you on the shit that you already know, keeping you in a place that you've always been. I don't want to be that kind of reader. And those be my initial thoughts because those is the first fucking readings that I see. I'm like, I should do a why? Because and when I ask myself why is because that's what people want to hear. I don't want to be the type of reader that read for a motherfucker based on what they want to hear. I want to be a motherfucking reader that read based on what you need to hear for your soul's evolution. I want you to be happy. I don't want shit else from you but for you to be happy and healthy. If you happy and healthy, I don't give a fuck if you hate the ground I walk on. I don't give a fuck if you curse me motherfucking dead. If you happy and you healthy, be that. That's all I want from you. These readers out here, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they're not good readers. These readers will read you to fucking filth. They will read your situation to filth. But they will continuously read your situation to filth as if it's changed. How has it changed if you haven't given me any guidance on how to change it? And it's hard when you're in a hard place and you can't find that guidance within yourself. So you seek outside of yourself, and the shit that you seeking outside of yourself is keeping you where you trying to get away from. It's hard. 555 on the motherfucking clock, bitch. It's time for change. We gotta start really looking at the shit that we putting out there. Look at Naruto. Believe it. No, like dead ass though. Like, I don't wanna sit up here and talk about how somebody just disrespected the fuck out you. You know this motherfucker disrespected the fuck out you. What I want to talk about is how you can start placing boundaries, setting boundaries, and holding a motherfucker to it. Holding yourself to it. How you can, start affirming the greatness within you. How you can move forward and try to do better. And that's what I'm trying to do for myself. This is I always speak on myself when I speak about shit. Because this is a process for me too. Because I was that motherfucker. I'm still that motherfucker that's like seeing them videos and shit like that. I'm just now starting to realize, like, I don't want to keep keeping up with this shit. I don't want to keep being informed on how this motherfucker still don't give a fuck. How this motherfucker still not taking no action. XYZ. Like, I know it's been this way. It's time for something fucking different. And I don't want to be the type of reader that's going to keep you in. I want to help you grow. I don't want to keep you stagnant. I don't want to keep you in a place of hurt. I want to show you how. So if you're in a situation where you constantly looking up how a motherfucker feeling about you and shit like that, and you just want to move on, and you trying to move on, and you looking at these videos hoping that they're gonna help you move on, but at the end you just more confused and more hurt than what the fuck you was. Listen, it's time to accept your reality. A lot of the times, well, I speak for myself. It's like, it's hard to accept the reality of it because you wish the reality was different. Start there, accepting the reality. Affirm it. This is my reality, and I accept it. And a lot of emotion is going to come up with that, but be gentle with yourself. You're grieving. Not only are you grieving, what could have been. You basically grieving what could have been that didn't happen. And that's a lot. That's a lot. So you gonna cry, you gonna hurt, and it's gonna be a lot. But don't beat yourself up about it. Feel how you feel. Don't stop your thought processes. A lot of the time when we start thinking negative, we want to stop ourselves from thinking negative. Don't shut yourself up. Listen to what you're feeling, because you're listening to your heart. You're listening to that pain you feel, and you need to express that shit. Let that shit out in order for you to move through that shit. Stop intellectualizing it. Speaking for myself, I intellectualize the fuck out of my pain to the point where it's like, I know XYZ, but it's like, I'm not feeling that shit, and that's why you stagnant. That's why you still are where you are. And these readers not telling you that shit. They're not going to tell you that shit. They only speak on the situation, read the situation from A to motherfucking Z, and that's it. What about the how? What about the motherfucking how? You grieving. And there is not a time limit on that shit. So you gotta be gentle with yourself. Acceptance. Start there. Accept that shit did not go the way that you wanted it to go. Accept that it hurt you deeply. Accept that you still have hope for it, that you still want shit to be. See, I'm getting a notification now. Who is into you or who will be? Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Like, the people that are meant to be in your life will come into your life. Those who aren't meant to be in your life, they will hurt you. How do you move through that shit? How? They're not telling you how. So that's what I want to start focusing on more, is the how. How do I get through this? We will start with acceptance. I accept that this is the way things are now. The way that I wanted things to be, the way that I want things to go, the way that I want things to turn out in my favor in this situation, the fact that it will not, the fact that it is not, I accept that. I am in pain because of it. I accept that. I honor my emotions by allowing myself to feel them. Cry, journal, scream, go outside and break a fucking plate. Do what you gotta do to express that shit. You grieving. If you thinking in your mind, scenarios about how shit going, cause I be thinking scenarios all the time about how I stumble upon a motherfucker that see me and things that magically get better. That's not reality. Like, it's cool to have hope for a situation, but it gets to a point where you hurting yourself. It gets to a point where you really hurting yourself, wishing on a motherfucking star that ain't never gonna shit. That's just the reality of it. To take yourself out of the fantasy of the situation and to bring yourself back into reality with acceptance, accepting things the way that they are, no matter the pain that is caused by the situation. Forcing yourself to think, to believe in fantasy over reality, that's not doing nothing but hurting you. That shit don't serve no more. You still in the same boat. It's time to do something different. It's time to do something different. Like, for real. Pause, like,